Hello, this is Will Taylor with the Reserve Team of the Homes Finder Realty Group. Today we're going to be taking a look at the October 2023 Real Estate Market Report for Cypress Ridge. As always, this data is going to be coming from the MLS, and if it's not, I will cite that on screen. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. First up is the monthly inventory. We have some big news here. We have an uptick in inventory. We went from 4 months to 5 months. We were previously at 3. We don't really see this much yet in Cypress Ridge, but more listings in Bluffton are coming to market and not being bought as quickly. If you're familiar with the Sun City or Margaritaville markets, those have kind of slowed down just a bit, and I feel like we're starting to see that just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and call this the first signal of a slowdown, and we have a couple more to take a look at. So moving on to mortgage rates. Mortgage rates continue to suck. They're at now 7.76. They hit a high of 7.79 on October 26th. They came down just a bit. The Federal Reserve did announce that they're going to pause any further rate hikes for some time. So hopefully that will provide some relief here that might bring more buyers back into the market. We might see that demand spike up, but we are entering the holiday season. If you were to get a contract on your house to close now, it'll be right around Christmas time. So we will see how that goes, fingers crossed. Moving on to inflation. In general, inflation continues to climb. The main drivers of inflation are shelter and gasoline. Shelter is over half of the driver of inflation right now. We are still caught in that inflation paradox where as housing goes up, inflation goes up, and mortgage rates goes up. So we need more homes, and we'll talk about some new construction options in just a second. Just to reiterate that important note, shelter has increased 7.3% over the last year, and that's accounting for over 70% of the total increase of all things. That does not include food and energy. So housing is still continuing to drive inflation. Let's take a look at a couple options for relief from new construction. Why this is so important in the grand scheme of things. Housing prices are so high because supply is so low. We are seeing a lot of developers with great incentives to help buyers get into their homes. So here we have Baynard Cove is from D.R. Horton, and in conjunction with DHI, they are offering a 2-1 buy down, and the last leg of that is under 6%. And they're also offering $10,000 in closing costs. And Malin Bluff is a Pulte community in Bluffton. They're offering a 30-year fixed rate under 6%. And when we're looking at 7.79, 7.76, you're almost 2% less than the market right now with their mortgage rate. I had a client recently sign on, and they were also able to receive $10,000 in closing costs and $17,000 in options for their house. They designed their house, so they'll be done in closing next year. Lastly, keep in mind these are subject to change, so what you see today might not be what you see tomorrow. So if you're looking for the most accurate figures here, it's best to reach out to the developer, the mortgage company, or you can reach out to an agent to connect you as well. All right, let's move on to the MLS data specific to Cypress Ridge. So in October, we actually saw only 5 new listings. Now we saw in the monthly inventory, we went up to 5 months, but here in Cypress Ridge, we continue to go down with the number of listings. There's not as many new homes coming for sale in Cypress Ridge. Moving on to the days on market. For the previous sales, so these numbers are by sale, so what closed in October of 2023 was on the market for 13 days. Those contracts were most likely written in September or August. So in the 2 months prior to October, things were on the market for about 2 weeks. So let's move on to the price ratios here. Cypress Ridge continues to remain strong. These, based off the closed sales, are over 98%. So in the last couple months, if you were to put your house on the market priced well, you could expect to sell in 2 weeks and right around what you listed for. So let's get into the specifics of what's sold, what's under contract, and what is available, because I think there's a story that's starting to come out of here. So 8 homes sold in October, and there were a couple listings that were well over that 2-week mark. One of them was actually a rental and had tenants there. So these can be more difficult to sell since the buyer didn't choose the tenant that is there, and rent rates may have changed, so the property might not have cash flowed. And you can see that property was on the market for 115 days, and the seller had to take almost 10% less than the ask price. That's still not the norm. So when we're looking at what the norm is, it's going to be these 97, 98, 99%, at less than or right around 2 weeks. So let's move on to the under contract. Right now there are 6 homes under contract in Cypress Ridge, and this is where the story starts to get just a little bit interesting. If you remember from a couple slides ago, the days on market was 13. Well, now the median here, the same metric, is moved up to 15, and 3 of the 6 listings here are over that 13-day mark. So this is the second signal. We have the first one is the monthly inventory in Bluffton has gone up, and now we're seeing what's under contract. Days on market has also gone up. So let's develop this story into what is available. This is where the third signal comes into play here. There are 7 available properties in Cypress Ridge as of November 6th. The median is 31 days on market, more than double that 13, more than double the 15 of the under contract. So we're seeing what is available has been on the market for a significantly longer amount of time than the last couple months. So this is the third signal here that there might be a slowdown coming into Cypress Ridge. If you are looking to sell your home, it might be a good idea to get your house on the market sooner rather than later. You can save yourself some ambiguity of the holiday season by getting your house on the market before that time. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. My final thoughts. Locally, we have the first signals of increased inventory and higher days on market. So it looks like there's a potential slowdown in the works. Nationally, we've been the same as we have been for a few months. Housing and inflation continue to go up. We will see what happens with this rate pause. Right after it was announced, rates dropped 0.03%, so that's good at least. If you're looking to buy a home, we discussed a couple great examples of new construction incentives in the area. You have Malin Bluff in Bluffton and Baynard Cove up in Beaufort. They are not the only ones. If you would like to see what else is available, reach out to me and I can get that for you. Sellers, it might be a good idea to get your house on the market now. With rates being high and the holidays upcoming, there's going to be a lot of ambiguity that you can cut out by getting your house to the market now. And that's all that I have for today. Once again, I'm Will Taylor with the Reserve Team of the Homes Finder Realty Group, and I will see you next month.